What's up guys, Aaron back here in the strength cave, and today I got Melanie with me, one of the runners I train, and it's been brought to my attention she has some poor mobility. So in the first part of our working together, we got really strong and her conditioning went through the roof, which is great. And then we realized she started getting little niggles, little injuries, that stability was a big issue. So we put a lot of emphasis on stability. So we checked 2 of the major boxes, but now I'm learning there's a 3rd major box, and that's mobility. So today we're going to address some common mobility issues that runners may have from being stuck in that short, tight position with that high impact over and over. So let's put some length into those muscles so we can run pain-free. Okay, first stretch we're going to address is the calf. The calves get really tight from running, so we want to put full length into that calf, and it's also going to help stretch out that Achilles tendon, which so many runners struggle with. So the first thing we're going to do is a calf stretch. We'll get Melanie on a slant board. You can use anything. You can get a 2x4, put a brick under it, anything to elevate and slant that foot. So now she's going to think, flex that left glute, push the hips forward, push the shoulders forward. You're trying to push your whole torso forward while keeping that knee straight and driving that heel to the ground. A nice deep stretch. Okay, and what you want to think here is you want to stay in these positions until you feel a change. If the feeling becomes too intense, come out of it, take a couple breaths, go back into it. You can also pump it out, so bend your knee forward a little bit and then push the heel down. Good. Working through that range of motion, that's what we're trying to establish, to teach the body these positions are good, they're safe, and they're okay to be in. The way we're going to do that is spend time in those positions. Okay, so next one we got here is a forward fold. Same thing, get something to elevate those feet. That elevation is going to put more stretch on the hamstrings and calves. And what we're focusing on here is keeping the legs locked out and really folding the spine. So also let your head fall. Good. So we want to start to space out that spine, segment that spine, which also becomes really tight from the impact of running and gravity, while also putting length into the hamstrings. So the next stretch we got here is a deep runner's lunge. You're going to take a big step out, place your hands right in line with the middle of your front foot, chest up, arch your back, weight in the heel of this front foot, extending straight through that back leg. Your goal is to try to get straight through that back leg. So if you look at me from the side, straight through that back leg, you're going to push your hips through the ground. Push your hips through the ground, peel your chest away, and then turn. Reach your hands apart. So there's one point of tension from the right palm through the left palm, and then you're going to pull under. Melanie doesn't look nearly as bad at this one, but it's still great to get length into the hamstring, and you're really looking to stretch that front hip flexor. So she's really going to focus on flexing her right butt cheek, pulling the hips, pushing them forward, pulling the chest away, lift the sternum up, and then turn away. One point of tension from the right hand straight through the arm into the left, turning through the torso, getting some mobility of the thoracic spine, and then she's going to come all the way back under. Okay, so the next one is to put length into the quad and that hip flexor. So we're going to do a couch stretch, but we're going to kind of do it on our own. If you want to, you could also place this back foot on the wall and do the same thing. So we're going to get into a nice lunge position. We're going to reach that hand back, put the hand on the floor for balance. You can keep it down there if you need it, if you still get a good stretch from there. This is as far as you can make it. What I want you to think is flex the glutes, push the hips forward. Okay, but if you can come out of it and get the other hand back as well, you're going to think lift the chest away. It's all right, just find your balance, okay? Pull that left hip back, pull the heel to your butt. Now you're gonna think flex the right butt cheek, push the hips forward, pull the chest away. You should feel a nice big stretch all through that hip flexor in the front of that quad. Okay, next stretch we got is pigeon, so go ahead and get down. What you're gonna think is bring the knee through. Now kickstand it out, place the foot down. Go ahead and let the knee come down. And you're gonna think, you wanna put all your tension into that right hip. You're trying to push that right hip to the ground. That's why you're trying to sit your body weight. And what you can do is I want you to move around and explore these positions. So push into it and then roll back out. All right, just playing around with these positions. So Melanie just stated to me, and this is probably going to be a common theme for a lot of you guys, is you're going to be able to sit into one hip a lot easier than the other. That's because one has a lot more external rotation and one has a lot more internal rotation. Now think about that if you're rowing. You're going to be doing circles. But think about that in terms of balance and injury prevention. So she is so much tighter on her right hip than her left. The right hamstring is what's been causing us all the problems. So, you know, it's good to be strong, it's good to have conditioning, it's good to be stable, but we gotta have the mobility to match it well. They all work together so that we can run pain-free. The next one we got here is the frog pose. That's gonna be for the inner thighs and the groin. A lot of runners are really tight through here just because we don't spend any time in these wide positions. So what she's gonna think here, she's gonna start her forearm, she's gonna lift her chest, arch her back, push the hips forward. Good, now push the hips back. Now you can come down on your forearms as well if you want a deeper stretch. Same time, I want you to lift your chest, arch your back, now push your hips back. Good, and you're just gonna spend time rocking back and forth in this position. Now come back up on all fours. Now what you can also do is take your arm and reach underneath. And you're really gonna stretch out. As you're reaching, I want you to push through this palm. So you're trying to push through and reach. Good, and you're gonna get a nice stretch of the thoracic spine here as well. Okay, this last one is one of my favorites. It's a 6-point squat to a downward dog, and you're gonna rotate through them. So what we're happening here is weight in the palms, butt to the ceiling, chest up, arch your back, push your weight to the heels and head through your hands. Okay, and you're trying to reach your heels to the ground. If you're really tight, what I want you to do is pump them out. So bend one knee as you reach the other heel to the ground. And from here, what you're gonna think is weight back to the palms, drop your knees, lift your chest, arch your back, stomach tight, push your butt to your heels, push back to your palms, butt to the ceiling, heels to the ground, head looks through, pump them out if you need to, and just cycle back through these. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope these stretches help you in the future prevent any injuries. If you like this kind of content, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and as always,